In this video, I want to explain to you why I think you can live with an Austin A35 every day and see how it actually compares to a modern car. So hop on board and I'll explain a little bit further. Okay, so first of all, we have to figure out what metrics are we using to compare this car to the Toyota. So we're going to do a quick, boring MPG comparison. There's some old videos from back in the 50s when the RAC tested this car, and they had their figures that they published at the time at about 50 miles per gallon. I'm a little bit skeptical that we can reach that, so we're just going to do some miles in this. Because I've filled the tank up, we'll take it back to the station, we'll do a bit of calculations and get a rough idea of where we are. And then we'll compare the overall driving experience. I've already done a video on this, asking why James Hunt loved the A35, so you probably already know that I do enjoy the experience of it. And then come to a definitive conclusion whether you can live with an A35 every day. We already know the Toyota Yaris Hybrid is a class-leading car. It does a lot of things very well, but with the combined average of about 66 to 69 MPG, how does it compare to the A35? Okay, so I've done the maths. Now, I only did about 40 miles and it's put just over 3 litres of fuel in. And the phone's telling me that's 50 MPG, which I don't believe. Maybe I've made a mistake. I don't know. If that's anywhere near true, that's quite incredible. That can't be right, can it? Well, yes, it can be true. As remarkable as that sounds, my old man went onto the owners group on Facebook and asked whether my calculations reflected their experience, and enough of them said, yeah, about 50 MPG. So a car from 1957 is comparable to the latest technology. It is. I do find it quite amusing that you've got a number of menu items that you can go through. You've got a myriad of buttons on the steering wheel. Infotainment is a bit weird. I don't really like it. This complexity that I actually don't think that many people use. This is my parents' car, and what's interesting is they just get in it and drive. They don't faff about with all the menu stuff, and I'd love to know what actual percentage of people are using all of the features that this car has, because I suspect it ain't that many. It's just a bit of a waste of time. And really that's what I wanted to talk about, because we're comparing it to the A35, which has none of that. It doesn't have a radio, it barely has heating, and it's what I find interesting about technological improvement is that you get these brand new technologies. They're very novel, they're very creative, and they change the world. And then once they become popular and ubiquitous, sure, they improve from a technology standpoint, but they don't really change that much. You think about it. Think about the PlayStation. When that came out in the late 90s, have games, especially with the PS2, have games improved or changed that much? Not really. Yeah, sure, you might have better graphics and bigger worlds, but the gaming experience is still you sitting in front of a TV with a remote control half the time. So it's no different with cars. You take the A35, you take this car, you strip it to its bare bones, and the experience is kind of the same. Now, don't get me wrong, this car is very good. It does a lot of things very well. It will sit on the motorway a lot easier at 70 miles an hour than the A35 will, naturally. But for just hooning around town, there ain't that much difference. And we've already ascertained that the MPG, sure, this has got better MPG, but this is a brand new car. It's more expensive to buy, and all of that kind of stuff. But is it any better? I don't know. It's kind of weird actually, because the way that this hybrid works is when you accelerate, obviously it runs on sort of the power is delivered via the electric motors, and then the engine will kick in, and it just sounds really strange because it's like a CVT essentially. I don't know the complexities of how this car works, but it's kind of strange. And there's a bit of a delay on the throttle, and I ain't joking. The response, mate, maybe if I put it in sport mode. There's not sport mode, it's called power mode. It's like a second response. The A35 genuinely, and this is 100% true, has better throttle response, but there's not much grunt after that. But if you're hooning around town, I'm being genuine here, it does pick up and feel a bit more lively. It's very strange to say that. So how does the car compare to the Yaris? The Yaris is a fantastic car. It does a lot of things very well. But as a concept, it weirdly isn't that much better. If any, I have this theory about good hassle, bad hassle. You know, humans need a little bit of stimulation in their life, and with a car like this, you are stimulated. You are, in the back of your mind, you are a little bit concerned about whether because the thing's so mechanical, if the hesitation is there, you're like, oh, is there hesitation? You know, like I said, you have to be a bit of a person of character to live with that. But weirdly, when it's all working fine, and this car does, the difference between a car from 1957 and a car from 2023, it ain't that big. It really isn't, and that is really strange to say. Really strange. Now I know in terms of safety, all the, you know, that kind of stuff you can't really see or feel. Fair enough, you got me there. Around town though, I mean, you're only going to be doing 20 to 25 mile an hour, avoiding potholes, no doubt. But anyway, you knew what I was going to say when you watched this video. If you've got something about you, do something about it. This is the thing, I had a couple talk to me because I drove to Oakham, and they were a couple in their 50s, and the woman was like, I've always wanted a classic car, and like, I don't know why more people don't do it. Wish. That was close. Anyway, thank you for watching my channel, Helter Skelton. Please like and subscribe, please comment. Maybe you can tell me about what you want to see in the future, what you want to see us do with the A35, whether you want to see us go with other cars. I'd love to hear from you. We're very new, we're discovering what works. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it.